Assalamu alaikum, hello, and welcome everyone. Today, we're going to dive into something truly profound, the opening verses of Surah Al Imran, the third chapter of the Quran. These first 6 verses, they aren't just an introduction. They lay an absolutely foundational understanding of God, of revelation, and of the very nature of truth itself. So right away, the chapter hits you with something unexpected. Not a word, but this. Alif-Lam-Mim. Just 3 letters of the Arabic alphabet. They're striking to look at, they sound unique when recited, and they immediately tell you that what you're about to hear is no ordinary speech. So what in the world are these? Okay, let's get right into it. These letters are actually part of this really fascinating category known as the muqatta'at, which basically means the disjointed letters. And they are one of the great, beautiful mysteries of the Quran. Now, these kinds of letters, they pop up at the start of 29 different chapters. And here's the thing, their exact meaning is considered a divine secret, something known only to God. And this isn't seen as some kind of mistake or a missing piece of information, not at all. It's thought to be completely intentional, a way of reminding us that this book has a divine origin, something that's way beyond our full human grasp. Okay, so if we don't know the exact meaning, you might be asking, what's the point? Well, scholars have some incredible insights here. First, on a simple level, they're a genius way to grab your attention. But on a much deeper level, they were a direct challenge to the Arabs of the time, who were absolute masters of poetry and language. It's almost like a divine challenge, saying, look, this message is made from the very same letters you use every day, the building blocks of your most beautiful poetry. Now go ahead. Try and create something like this. You can't. It's a sign of its miraculous nature. And right after this deep, profound mystery, bam, the text just pivots. It moves to a statement of such absolute, powerful clarity, it's breathtaking. The very next verse makes an unmistakable declaration about the nature of God. This second verse, it just lays it all out. It establishes the absolute core of Islam, Tawheed. And this is so much more than just a statement. It's the very bedrock of the entire faith, a declaration of absolute, uncompromising monotheism. So what is Tawheed? At its heart, it's the simple, powerful idea of the indivisible oneness of God. You have to remember the world this was revealed in. It was a world full of idols, multiple gods. And then comes this verse. It was a radical, clarifying thunderclap. It asserts there's only one ultimate source of power, authority, and life, period. And to explain this oneness, the verse gives us 2 of God's most powerful attributes, or names. First, you have Al-Hayy, the ever-living, the one who is eternal, who doesn't depend on anything. And then you have Al-Qayyum, the sustainer, the one who actively holds up and maintains everything in creation. What this really means is that everything else, from the smallest atom to the largest galaxy, depends entirely on him for its very existence. And then verse 6 brings this concept of the sustainer right down to the most personal, intimate level imaginable. It says that God is the one who shapes us in the womb exactly as he wills. Think about that for a second. This isn't some far-off abstract power we're talking about. It's this intimate, absolute control over the very first moments of our existence, showing that our origin, our very being, is entirely by his design. All right, so the verses have established who God is. Now, the focus shifts to what this book is and where it fits into the grand story of divine guidance for humanity. What's really key here is that the Quran doesn't present itself as some brand new thing that came out of nowhere. No, it sees itself as the final chapter in a long, unbroken story of revelation. It very clearly mentions the Torah given to Moses and the gospel given to Jesus. It's all about the continuation and confirmation of that same core truth. And this is where we see the Quran's really unique, dual role in this chain. So on the one hand, its job is to say, yes, that original truth you received is correct. But on the other hand, it's also there to act as a corrector, to gently reset the message where it might have been, altered or misunderstood over centuries by human hands. Okay, so it confirms and it corrects. But what's its ultimate job for us, for humanity? Well, the text says its purpose is to be the definitive standard, and it gives this job a very specific, very powerful name. And that name is Al-Furqan. It means the criterion, or the distinguisher. It's a powerful idea. It means this book is meant to be the ultimate yardstick, the thing you use to separate truth from falsehood, right from wrong. And that, right there, is its one primary function. To be that one unwavering moral compass. And listen, this wasn't just some nice philosophical idea. For the very first Muslims who felt they were living in an age of ignorance, this idea of Al-Furqan was everything. It was a hands-on, practical system for justice. It was their guide for settling arguments, and it was the moral blueprint they needed to build a whole new society from the ground up. And this next verse, wow, it really drives that point home. It's both a direct command to use this divine guidance as the foundation for judgment and a really stern warning not to stray from it, not to become one of those wrongdoers by just following your own ego or popular but false ideas. So just think about the journey we've taken in just these few verses. We started with this incredible mystery, moved to this crystal clear declaration of God's oneness, and ended with the Quran's role as the ultimate criterion for truth. It's such a powerful opening, and it really leaves us with a big question to think about, one that's maybe more relevant today than ever before. In our modern world, with its endless information and all these competing voices telling us what's true, what does it really mean to have a criterion to help us distinguish right from wrong?